Good morning, students. How you guys doing? How's everyone at home? I hope you guys have been keeping safe. All right. Now I want to welcome you all to this online class. So this video is actually for CRS, that is Christian Religious Studies, for SS2. And one of hard that was the last video, that is the week 1 and 2 that I did. That is about the supremacy of God, and likewise the week 3 talking about the reform, religious reform. I hope you guys have watched the video and you actually understood everything taught. Okay. All right, let's move to the next topic according to our scheme, which is concern for one's nation. Again, concern for one's nation. And this is actually continuing to, if you look at from the first week, which happened to be the supremacy of God, continuing from there to week 3 to religious reform of the Israelites. Now we are, from there they went into exile, and from the exile, where here we are at concern for one's nation. So let's quickly look at the objective in order to see what we are expected to learn at the end of this class. At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to: one, explain the conditions of the nation; two, explain the response to the state of the nation; and number three, discuss the rebuilding of the temple under the leadership of Zerubbabel and Joshua in the face of opposition. And number four, the students should be able to highlight the moral lessons learned in this lesson. Okay, let's move straight to the concern of today: concern for one's nation. We all know that a nation sometimes faces natural disasters like famine, war, invasion, which lead to insecurity, destruction of lives and properties, and the general suffering of people. And as a result of that, such things are sometimes used by God in order to correct and redirect our people. That is, if the people are actually not working in line with God, or are actually not doing the right thing, they are not in the right mind with God, God can actually use any of these natural disaster to bring them back to Himself, like famine, destruction of lives and properties, and many more. And God actually used this when that was after the death of Josiah, when the religious idolatry started again. As a result of that, God put all of them into exile. That He there is God, He equally uses concerned and patriotic individuals to restore lots of such people and nation. That is, He uses His own people, those people who are still who still has His love in mind, in order to restore the people and likewise such nation back to its normal status. And the people of Judah experienced such correction from God, that is right from the period after the death of King Josiah to the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. I hope you still remember King Josiah in the last video, that is in religious reform, whereby he was king as from age 8, and he was there for 31 years. And after his 18 years in kingship, he was that was when they discovered the law book. And as a result of that, when he heard all what was in the law book, he consulted prophetess Ida, and as a result of that, they made a reform, and all of them promised to return themselves back to God. And he really took a lot of stuff by defiling all the the shrines, bringing down all the idols, all the images, and many more. And you see the whole outcome in the last video that I put up in the video. All right. Now, what was the state of the nation as at that moment? You know, the Judah was under Egypt, which happened to be under Pharaoh Necho, who destabilized Judah's political state. And if you read First Kings chapter 23, from verse 28 to 31, you see there. And as a result of that, it was one who killed Josiah in a battle at Megiddo, and this resulted in Judah becoming a vassal of Egypt. Vassal is like an empire, or should I say, a small community under Egypt. So Egypt happened to be an empire who is ruling over Judah. That's what it means by vassal of Egypt. And as a result of it, Pharaoh Necho therefore deposed, and what deposed means is removed. Jehoahaz, that happened to be Josiah's son and successor. That is the only son that Josiah had, who was supposed to take over as king. He removed him as a king, and in his place, he put in place Joachim as a vassal king over Judah. That was what as the beginning of the whole story. Now, moving on, the condition of the nation. The nation is now in exile, is under an empire, is under the captivity of Egypt once again. Now, I want to look at the condition of the nation. So, I want you all to open your Bible as I've opened mine right now, to the book of Nehemiah. The book of Nehemiah, chapter 1, where we are going to read from verse 1 to 11, and chapter 2, 9 to 20. I will read the first one, and I expect you to read the second passage. Okay? Nehemiah chapter 1, from verse 1 to 11. The word of Nehemiah, the son of Achilea, and it came to pass in the month of Shehu, in the 20th year, as I was in Shehuah the palace, the Anani, one of the brethren, came, and he and certain men of Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnants that are left on the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. That is Judah right now. They're talking about them. And they said unto me, the remnants that are left in the captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. They are giving Nehemiah report of how the land is. Verse 4 now. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days, and fasted and prayed before God of heaven. That is Nehemiah talking there after he has received the message of how the nation actually was. And he continued in verse 5 by saying that, and said, I beseech thee, O Lord, God of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenants and mercy for them that loved him, and observe his commandments. Let thy ear now be attentive, and thy ears open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servants, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. Verse 7. Now, you all are following the Bible reading. Told you I'm going to read the first one, you read the second one. So let's continue from verse 7. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandment, nor the states, nor the judgment which thou commanded thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commanded thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. Now, verse 9 now, but if ye turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out into the utmost part of the heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and will bring them unto them the place that I have chosen to set my name there. And verse 10, now these are thy servants and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. And the last verse there, verse 11, O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thy ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant and to the prayer of thy servant who desire to fear my name and prosper. I pray thee, thy servant, this day, and grant him his mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king cupbearer. This is the word of God. And I want you all to pause this video right now and read the second Bible reading, that is Nehemiah chapter 2, from verse 9 to 20. Okay, I want to believe that every one of you, you're through reading the Bible passage right now, and I'm going to go ahead and do the summary of what the Bible passage has said. Now, in the month of Chislev, after the exile, Nehemiah, a Jew serving in Susa, capital of the Persian Empire, received the news of the pathetic state of Judah from Hanani, which happened to be one of the Jews that came from Judah to Susa. Hanani reported to the Nehemiah that the survivors were in great trouble and shame. And another one was that the wall of Jericho was broken down, and its gates was also its gates were destroyed by fire. And on hearing this report, Nehemiah became so sad, and because he was so concerned about the situation in Judah, so he went to the king, to the then king of Persia, King Artaxerxes, and obtained permission to go and help the Jew in order to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. And as a result of that, though before he went to meet the king, he had prayed to God. He had done what? He had prayed to God to grant him favor in the sight of the king. And having obtained the king's permission, and as a result of that, he prayed before going to meet the king. And when he met with the king, he actually obtained favor. Everything he asked for, the king gave it to him. He gave him permission, authority, and even supported him. And as a result of that, he now set off for the work. Now, let's now see how Nehemiah respond to the state of the nation. Again, I want you to pause this video again and read all this Bible passage. We've read the first one, that is Nehemiah chapter 1, from verse 1 to 11, and likewise Nehemiah chapter 2, from verse 9 to 20. I want you to read chapter 4, 1 to 23, Ezra 1, 5 to 11, Ezra 5, 1 to 2, and to the last one, Ezra chapter 7, from verse 1 to 10, for you to have a better understanding of the whole story. It's a long story. I need to take your time to go with it verse by verse and chapter by chapter. Now, the summary is that Babylon came under Persian Empire, and the king of Persia, which happened to be Cyrus, as directed by God, in fulfillment of the prophecy of Jeremiah, issued a decree that the Jewish exile should return to their country and rebuild Jerusalem temple. That was as a result of Nehemiah's authority that he has been given, and likewise as a result of the result to prayer in which he had prayed. And in line with this decree, the Jewish exile returned to Judah, and they were led by Zerubbabel and Sheshbazzar. And moving forward, at this time, the Jewish in Judah were faced with many problems. And some of these problems were, number one, lack of a place of worship, for the temple had been destroyed also by the Babylonians. Number two, an adulteration of Yahweh worship, which was one of the negative effects of the exile on the Jews. And we know that is one thing that God doesn't like, and He doesn't want it at all. They destroyed the place of worship, and and the third one, the insecurity as of the fact that the wall of the wall of Jerusalem and its gates had been destroyed. Again, insecurity as the wall of Jerusalem and its gates had been destroyed. However, God used the patriotic concerned Jews like Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, Sheshbazzar, Joshua, Prophet Haggai, Prophet Zechariah, now to solve the problems for the Jews. So all these men gather together because they happen to be great men of God who actually are concerned with their community, and they are lovers of God. So God used all of them in one way or another to rebuild the temple and likewise the wall of Jericho. Now, the rebuilding of the temple under leadership of Zerubbabel and Joshua, the face of opposition. In the sense that should tell you that they actually faced a lot of opposition, but even in the midst of opposition, they were able to conquer. So you are going to read Extra chapter 4 and chapter 5. We're going to do the summary. So please make sure you read the Bible passage. You can pause the video again, read the Bible passage, that is Extra chapter 4 and Extra chapter 5. Now, the construction of the construction work in the temple, took up, being faced with the problem of the place of worship, and in line with the prophecy of Jeremiah and the decree of Cyrus, the Jews started the rebuilding of the temple of Jerusalem, and as a result of this, they were led by Zerubbabel and Joshua. Prophet Haggai and also Zechariah were also on hand, supporting them with their encouraging prophets. And if you read that passage very well, you see what happened. And there come about the opposition to the construction work, according to the passage that you've read, Ezra chapter 1, well, chapter 4, Ezra chapter 4, from verse 1 to 24. When the Samaria described in the passage as the adversary of Judah and Benjamin heard that returned exile were rebuilding the temple, they approached Zerubbabel and declared their intention to take part in the reconstruction work. And as a result of that, they were, however, not allowed. They were not allowed due to the fact that, through the leadership of the Holy Spirit, they knew that they weren't in support of the building of the temple and likewise the wall of Jerusalem. So they didn't allow them to come into them in order to discourage them. So they were disallowed. Then they resorted to sabotaging the rebuilding work through petitions. They begin to write petitions to the great ones, that is the king of the empire. They hired counselors and wrote against Jews, counselors them in lawyers, and wrote against Jews to the king of Persia in Aramaic language. And in their petition, they pointed out that the Jews were rebellious and wicked people. You can imagine, because they were not allowed to mix themselves with them due to their bad intention, now begin to sabotage the people of Judah, saying that they were rebellious and wicked people. And as a result of this, they started that if the king should allow the Jews to rebuild the temple and the wall of Jerusalem, being rebellious people, they would stop paying tributes and would revolt against the king. And the king would be like, is this kind of possible? Instead of that, they asked the king of Persia to search the archive in order to confirm the rebellious nature of the Jews. And he did, and found out that it was true. You can see they were able to get the hearts of the king here. And consequently, King Artaxerxes made a decree against the rebuilding of the temple, and the work was stopped temporarily. That is as a result of the petition written by these people who were not allowed to join them. And this actually made King Artaxerxes to be able to cross-check if it's actually true, if these people are rebellious people in nature. And King Artaxerxes was able to confirm that it is true these people are rebellious in nature. And as sort of King Artaxerxes made a decree against them now to stop the rebuilding of the temple, and this was stopped temporarily. And the construction work in the temple resumed again as a result of much pressure and assault. According to Ezra chapter 5, the Jews later wrote a counter letter to the king of Persia, explaining that the rebuilding work they embarked upon was in line with the decree of Cyrus, that is King Cyrus, to tell them that we've gotten we've gotten an approval from the leader that is King Cyrus, who happened to be the king of the empire, the whole empire. And as a result of that, they asked the king to check the record. They also asked the king to check the record and confirm what they had said. And the king also did this and found out that it was true. So he then doesn't have any option again than to permit them to resume the rebuilding work. And the rebuilding work was completed and it was dedicated in Ezra chapter 6 from verse 13 to 18. And aside from that, Esther revised the knowledge of the law and obedience among the returned exile. That is in Ezra chapter 7 from verse 1 to 10. Now, Nehemiah helped the Jews to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem in the face of opposition. You've read the Bible passage. Now, moving on, Nehemiah gets concerned about the report of the deterioration state of the wall of Jerusalem and the suffering of the people in Judah. As a result of this, Nehemiah's plan to help the suffering Jews and his prayers for divine favor, having heard about the problems of the insecurity suffered by the Jews in Judah. Nehemiah then, not only because he was sad and he was also concerned, but started immediately to plan towards going to Jerusalem now to help his fellow Jews in rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. He first asked for divine favor in the sight of the king of Persia, that is Artaxerxes, and he needed divine favor for the king to give him the permission to go to Jerusalem and lead the Jews on rebuilding the wall of the city. And all this was given. And in his prayer to God for favor in the sight of the king, he described God as one who keeps covenant and shows steadfast love to those who obey his commandment. That was the place that I read. He asked God to listen to the prayer he had been offering on behalf of the whole of Israel, confessing their sins of corruption. He actually confessing their sins of corruption and disobedience. He actually confessed the sin of the whole nation, begging God on their behalf, appealing to God on their behalf, asking God to forgive them for everything they might have done or every sin they might have committed to him, and reminded God of his promise to his promise to make his people, the Jewish exile, return to the land on repentance. And Nehemiah pleaded with God that since he had redeemed the exiles and he promised he should continue showing his mercy to the people of Israel by making the king of Persia grant, king of Persia grant him the permission to go to Jerusalem and lead the Jews to rebuild the wall of the city. And thereafter, Jeremiah was able to secure the king's permission, authority, and support for the proposed tax. And aside from that, when he got there, they put up a night inspection of the wall of Jerusalem, whereby so that they won't be attacked. And now was that the masters of public support for the work. He was able to call because the people of Judah, people of Jerusalem as a whole backed their city. So the call for support of the people now to help in rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem, because the wall had to go around the whole city. So the wall of Jerusalem were rebuilt in the face of opposition. And as a result of this, Nehemiah, in his own way, helped by praying, by taking permission from the king. And as a result of this, he didn't just in one day, just woke up to begin to tell God, but he had prayed before meeting the king. Now, let's look at with all what we've learned so far. What are the significant points and lessons that we can point at? The first one is that the spirit of patriotism is an important quality of a child of God. That is, as a child of God, you should have spirit of patriotism, like these people that we have mentioned. That's about Nehemiah, Prophet Haggai, Zerubbabel, Joshua, Zachariah, and many more. Number two, there, God controls his history of nations. He determines their fall and rise. That is, if any nation sin against God, that is actually leading that will lead to their fall. And once they're able to, come back to their senses and begin to confess their sin, appeal to God, in order to take a new leave. God is always ready to forgive them and give them a new beginning. Number three, God can make a nation fall or experience disaster as a result of disobedience to Him. If any nation disobey God, such nation can be can be made to experience one disaster or the other, like the disaster we have experienced right now, COVID-19. So obvious that every nation of this world has actually disobey God's instruction. Now we have gayism, we have lesbianism that has been officially made legal. All those ones and several other evil that has been happening. That alone is enough for God to made us to experience this disaster. But thank God, God will be pleading to God, and I know God will actually forgive every one of us, and the pandemic will be over very soon. Number four, he uses concerned and honest individual to restore things in a nation. That is why he uses those committed people, those patriotic citizens, in order to revive and restore the nation, Judah and Jerusalem as a whole. And number five, in the face of opposition, one needs divine wisdom, guidance, and protection to achieve a positive end. That is one thing Nehemiah first did when he got the report from Anani. He was sad, he was so concerned, and he fell on his knee. He prayed to God that he knew that this is as a result of their sin that put them in that particular position and situation. So he seek for forgiveness from God first before asking, before making request, that is petition. You begin to tell God, God, please let when I get to the king, everything, let him grant me permission to go and rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. And likewise, he prayed to God about everything he wanted to do. And when he got to the presence of the king granted him everything he wanted. So he has already asked for divine wisdom, guidance, and protection from God. So, and the king gave him the authority, even supported him, gave him some of the items that they needed to use in building the wall of Jericho and every other activities they needed to do in Judah. So this is going to be the end of this class. So make sure you go over the video over and over again, read the Bible passage, and that you have a better understanding. So until I come your way again, I need you all to make sure you always read your notes, prepare for the text that is coming. I pray God bless you all. So till I come your way again, bye for now.